We not only apologize to the Mamou alumni and their families for having failed them, but we humbly ask for their forgiveness.
This is what the mission boards wanted us, as children who had been abused at Mamou, to do, was to immediately offer them forgiveness, and they would have been totally off the hook. They would not have been able to do anything, and they can point at us and in a very patronizing way, pat us on the head. Yeah, you were abused, but, forgive us.
I actually call forgiveness the F word for the evangelical community because of how they use forgiveness.
It's not that victims are against forgiveness. Victims are against forgiveness as the solution to the problem. Because then the problem will go on and on and on, and as long as every victim continues to give forgiveness, the organization doesn't have to address the issues.
How do I forgive God? How do I forgive my parents? And a critical element is a person, I think, for me, to truly be forgiven, needs to want to be forgiven. It's hard for me to forgive the CMA as a group because they've not really, other than that one weekend, they've not made any effort to step up to or own what they did to us. And so I don't have a lot of charity in my heart for the organization.
Will, Keith's oldest son, said to me one day, "Grandma, why did you ever do that? Why did you send my father away?" And oh boy, those are hard questions from kids. I said, "Will, we made a mistake. We made a terrible mistake. And that's the way we believed in those days, and that's why we did it. But it was wrong, and we're real sorry. And your dad had a real hard time at boarding school, and I'm awfully, awfully sorry."
And hopefully there's a healing that takes place for our sons when they see that we're contrite over having done that, and that we're sorry we did it, and that we wouldn't do it again, and for them to be able to establish a good, solid, loving relationship with us now, which they do. It's almost like the relationship going back before we sent them, where there was loving care and kindness and sort of redeeming that earlier relationship and building on it.
But in all honesty, it's not kind of like, well, just a big hug and a kiss and a sorry and it's all gone. The fact that we were sent back over and over and over and just kept getting bounced back into that place despite my pleas. It is what it is, but no, I can't completely say that's okay. It's not okay. It was not all right. I have to live with it and they have to live with it.
I think that's one of the worst feelings in the world, if you think that you could have protected your child, but you didn't. And I think it really weighed on my parents. My father died recently, but I know it weighed on his mind until the very, very end of his life.
The way they were treated was just unbearable for them. And then they finally told us.
The main thing that affected her was the separation of her children, which to me as an adult is very comforting to me. That my mom was a mom, but she did it because she thought she had to. And I know that she was going to find out that they weren't loving and they weren't caring is really hard. That they had in their later years of retirement had to realize that on the one hand the church is strong in Mali, but it really impacted their kids.
First of all, I'm so grateful that Bev has chosen to deal with what happened to her at Mamou, because we have been able to share the journey, just not in telling each other details or telling even much of our story, but just in picking up the phone and being there for each other, emailing back and forth, and just knowing that I'm not the only one that's that's dealing with these memories. It's been a huge gift for me. And now when we get together, there really is a genuine relationship that isn't filled with tension. And it's like all of the unspoken things that happened to us at Mamou were really pushing us apart. But once both of us have been working and resolving our issues, we have a great relationship now.
These things that happen to us as children, unfortunately, the effects are going to remain with us the rest of our lives. And that is one of the reasons. One of the reasons in terms of my renewed call and vocation to ordain ministry was, the realization is that there is a tremendous amount of terrible religion out there that adversely affects not only children but adults. And my call to ministry is a call to further good religion and to do all that I can to battle against bad religion.
One of the songs when we were dating was, I can't promise you the future's not mine to give. And that's how I felt until we made a decision to adopt these kids. And that was, I think, the hardest part, is because I was not going to do to the kids what had been done to me. It wasn't going to be repeated in that way. And that if we decided to have kids, that I was going to be the best father that I could. And they would always come first.